Hello and welcome to another Spider-Man 101. Today we're going to do a villain that is long overdue, the Scorpion. So stick around and enjoy. Now the Scorpion story actually starts in Amazing Spider-Man number 19, which is the first appearance of Mac Gargan. Gargan was hired by J. Jonah Jameson in order to follow Peter Parker around and try to find out why Peter Parker gets all these cool shots of Spider-Man. So basically what we're seeing here is that already J. Jonah knows that Peter Parker is getting all these cool shots, and he kind of has an inkling that Peter Parker and Spider-Man are kind of in cahoots. Although he doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but he does know that, that more than likely they're working together, if you will, in order to get all these cool shots. So he hires a private investigator, Mac Gargan, to try to get photos, or try to snoop, if you will, and find out what's Peter's connection to Spider-Man. Naturally, Peter senses that somebody's following him around and all that, because naturally he has a spider sense. And at the end of Amazing Spider-Man number 19, going into Amazing Spider-Man number 20, which I have here, which is the first full appearance of Mac as a Scorpion, Mac is actually offered a new proposal, if you will, by J. Jonah. J. Jonah, feeling that Mac isn't delivering anything on the Peter Parker deal, basically asks him, look, I've got something here for you. If you want it, I can give it to you. We've got an experiment here with us and Dr. Farley Stillwell, who is a doctor who actually administers the treatments to form the Scorpion. And they say basically, look Mac, you've always been a nobody, we're going to make you somebody now. We'll pay you $10,000. All you got to do is be part of this experiment that we have. So naturally Mac thinks, hey, I'm going to be a somebody, and sure, I'm going to do it. What J. Jonah doesn't expect is, well, basically what the chemicals do that he took is to make him take the attributes of another thing. Another creature. So they give him the attributes of a scorpion, because a scorpion naturally is a natural predator of the spider, and it's also a very rough and tough animal. So they give him the abilities of the Scorpion, and also they have a suit designed for him that was designed by the Terrible Tinkerer, whose actual first appearance is in Amazing number 2, along with the Vulture. So the Terrible Tinkerer designs a costume that Mac Gargan will use. Mac Gargan has a suit on him now. He has the abilities of a Scorpion. He has the strength. He has the tough, like the hands can clamp down and whatnot, like a Scorpion, really hard and whatnot. He has the tail, and the tail is actually controlled by his mind. Because his actual genetic structure has reformed to that of a Scorpion. And so, for all intents and purposes, with the suit on, he's kind of like a human Scorpion. So what he does is he attempts to stop Spider-Man, to destroy him, like J. Jonah wants him to. And actually, at first glance, and in this book, as if you'd ever read it, you'll see that he actually succeeds. He beats Spider-Man in a fight. It goes to his head. Then he thinks, basically, screw this. I beat Spider-Man. I'm going to be the kingpin around here. I'm going to be the man in command. I don't need to take orders from J. Jonah anymore. Then he turns on J. Jonah Jameson. And that kind of freaks him out, because he doesn't want to be associated, he doesn't want it to get out that he created the Scorpion, as if Scorpion goes AWOL, well then J. Jonah's whole career as a publisher and all that, all his credibility is all going to go downhill if he created one of the biggest villains in the history of New York City. So Dr. Farley Stillwell actually has a remedy to turn the Scorpion back to normal, and he offers this to Gargan, tells him basically, here, take this, you'll turn back to normal. And Gargan freaks out and doesn't want it. He says, basically, why am I ever going to go back to being a nobody when I'm a somebody now? So, Farley Stillwell, the doctor, in this issue dies. Because, well, he dies actually in battle. But what happens is, and he is clear that he doesn't want Scorpion to stay this way, and that he doesn't want to be responsible for the Scorpion. Because basically it's his fault giving him the serum that the Scorpion is actually around. So later on in the issue, we'll see that Spider-Man will fight the Scorpion one more time, this time out of J. Jonah's office and into the streets. Spider-Man finally beats the Scorpion by doing one logical thing. Since Scorpion mostly attacks with his tail, Spider-Man tears off the tail. And then basically he punches the Scorpion out a few times and knocks him out. J. Jonah's all excited and whatnot, or acts excited that Spider-Man beat him because J. Jonah doesn't want to be associated to the Scorpion. So now the Scorpion, who cannot be returned to normal because he had to take the serum within a certain amount of hours that he never wanted to take from Dr. Farley Stilwell, so that's it. Mac Gargan is now the Scorpion forever and ever. Later on, the Scorpion will have new suits. I guess he had a terrible tinker as always, making new costumes. At one point, he'll actually believe that the costume is a part of him and he can't remove it. Needless to say, Mac Gargan's a little screwed up in the head. So he thinks he can't take off the suit, and actually police do manage to remove the suit from him, and then he finds out it's all in his head type thing. He'll go on to have a pretty interesting career. He'll be seen in Spider-Man comics. He'll be seen in Captain America. He'll be seen in all kinds of Marvel comics. Most notably, he'll be in Spider-Man, naturally, and Amazing, and Spectacular, and Web. Always a B-list villain, if you will, because he never really did get the fame that he wanted type thing. It's kind of like what's in the comics kind of transcends in reality. The Scorpion's never been a huge villain. Well, he's been big, you know what I mean, but he hasn't been, never reached Doc Ock or Green Goblin status or Venom status. But he still is a interesting villain nonetheless who has a lot of psychological issues. Key is here, and as I just said, he never reached Venom status. Theoretically, he has. If you've watched my Venom 102, you'll learn that Mac Gargan doesn't stay the Scorpion forever. In recent years, Mac Gargan, during the whole, and I have it here, the whole Marvel Knights storyline, is actually granted a little surprise, if you will. After getting the Green Goblin freed from prison, and the Green Goblin basically revamping all the villains' costumes, he gives Gargan his Scorpion suit back and says, here you go, wear this, we're going to go attack Spider-Man. And we'll be the Sinister 12. Because we're 12 villains. Thing is, when Gargan's alone in the apartment that night, guess what's there? It happens to be the Venom symbiote that was auctioned off by Eddie Brock. So the symbiote's there, and the symbiote merges with Gargan. Gargan says, forget the whole Scorpion thing. I'm going to be the new Venom. So, as of right now, and if you read Thunderbolts, you'll see the new Venom is actually in the team. Mac Gargan is currently Venom. So, going from the B-list Scorpion in the 60s to the A-list Venom in the 2000s. So Mac Gargan has come quite a ways. I assume that eventually he'll part with the symbiote and we'll see some classic Scorpion again. At least I hope they do. So, I guess that's it for this 101 class. If you want to read more about the Gargan Venom, you can pick up Thunderbolts, which is out every month. So yeah, here's to hoping we see good old Scorpion again someday. Take care, guys. Later.